What's up, everybody? It's Dave and RJ with the Cream here with one of our awesome clients and students, somebody we've been working with for a while, Mr. Taylor Georges. And we're just getting caught up on the biz a little bit. RJ, what do you got for Taylor today?
$77,000 on the back end of a four-unit sale, and on top of that, $14,000 up front using the PYF method. This guy's rocking and rolling. I wish he had his Super Bowl hat, his infamous Super Bowl hat on,
Yeah,
but
the tucked in sweater into his jeans. That was
he's
how we
probably
met
tucking
him.
in
He had
his
the chain
sweaters.
on.
You can't see it, but the Super Bowl hat is his infamous hat, his token for coming into our meetings, super casual, raking in profits, and now scaling a team. So welcome back. You've been on one of these before, and today we're going to be breaking down this four unit that you made basically six figures on. It's massive and probably the biggest flip you've done to this date, right?
And we're
Yeah,
we're celebrating as well.
definitely.
One more little side note asterisk. He's just got his first novation rolling. We've been pushing him to do novations for a while. We're big on novations on this channel. A lot of wholesaling and novations. He's got his first one cooking. But this particular one, 77 G's. What's this all about, Taylor?
Yeah. First of all, after that deal, I had to upgrade the hat. Let people
I
know what I
love the
do.
hat, bro. You
I
look
still
great.
have the Super Bowl hat. I'm just in Florida, the hat back home. So
Just-
otherwise, I'd wear it for you guys. Uh, yeah, the four unit. I picked that one up. I was planning on keeping it. Actually, I was planning on burying it. Did a full. You want me to talk numbers? You want me to
Yeah, oh
tell
yeah.
you what I
Break it
picked
down.
up for it?
Break it
Okay, yeah, $380,000 purchase price in King Lincoln, one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in Columbus.
Yeah, good
In a
price.
great spot. You could ride your bike downtown. Picked it up for 380. Put about $80,000 into it. It was actually we almost didn't get that property because we had to find $800,000 cash to buy that plus the 8 unit next to it, which my friend ended up picking up. But through some connections, I was able to make that happen. So $80,000 into renovations, and then I was in the process of refinancing it. It was a 6 month process, I believe. Um, I was in the process of refinancing it, and I got all the way to the end when one of my good friends he invited me out for dinner one night. We hang out every now and then,
Uh-huh.
but he invited me out for dinner one night, and he gave me a really strong offer, and he's one of my close friends. So um,
Wow.
I made the decision to pull the trigger and sell it. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed because I was so close to making six figures on one deal. It was actually 78 on the back end, and then
Yeah.
I think, yeah, 14 up front, 92 total.
Yeah.
But it certainly felt good. It certainly like put me in a position going into 2026 that I wanted to be in, to be able to really scale and like push my business to the next level.
Now, where did you get the deal? Because I think you told me that you found it on the MLS, listed on the MLS, right?
Yeah, so a friend brought me into this. He actually keeps a close eye on the MLS, and he pointed it out. And he asked if I wanted to buy the 4 unit. He buys the 8 unit.
Mm.
And so we came to an agreement on where it needed to be at. The issue was the seller didn't want to sign any more documents. So we had in contract under one LLC to purchase both of them cash, thinking we could just do an addendum and, use hard money, do an addendum to split the two into two different LLCs, use hard money. But the seller did not want to sign anything else, didn't want to see any lenders on the deal or anything like that. So um, I ended up I have a close connection that I was able to hit up. It's a hard money company, and I know them very well. I know the CFO over there. So their owner, I believe, actually just funded it with private money as a bridge gap to go into two hard money loans. So I got them a new customer who's a great flipper in Columbus, and they gave us the bridge gap that we needed, the bridge loan that we needed with private money.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of what were the terms per se on this financing?
The private money, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it went almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and it was supposed to be like boom, boom, done.
Yeah.
Like 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
But there was things that were happening. I don't remember exactly how much we paid in that, but the terms, I think it was like 10.5% in one point, something like
Okay.
that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's favorable.
Yeah. As for the hard money,
Right.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then you got this thing. So you're all into this for about 460, right? 380 for the purchase. another 80K in repairs, so about 20K a unit in renovations, you figured.
Yeah.
And so you were in the process of getting this refinanced. And
Hmm.
I think before this, did sometimes we like to get appraisals done beforehand just to kind of check and make sure we're on in line. Did you get this appraised before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my hard money lender requires, an appraisal. And it appraised at 660, I believe, on the front end. Yeah.
Sick.
Um,
So 660 times that by what most of them 75%, so 490, right?
mhm.
If they would have lent it to you 490 and then you get a little bit of cash out from that, give or take the points and stuff to your private money or hard money lender.
Yep.
So you would have probably pocketed, let's just say 10K, right?
Yeah.
From
Well,
the
the appraisal on the back end came in a little bit low. It came in at 640. And so I would have actually had to
Oh.
bring like a little bit of money to the table. I mean, it would have been fine.
So if you would have kept it, you would have had to bring money to the table if you went with the refinance. When was it done? Was the refinance appraisal done last year and not this year, right? Because
It
we're
was last year. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
gotcha. And then how many, so 4 units, and what were they going to rent for?
So I figured 1250. The guy that bought it from me, he's renting them for 1350. I think he already has one or two of them filled. So I was a little bit low. I had a property management company. They actually marketed one or two of them, and they couldn't get anybody in there. And I'm pretty sure it's because the photos were trash and they had watermarks all over them. I asked them to change them and stuff, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But
Maybe you
yeah.
should share
So
them on, you share them, put them on black. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
I'm not. That's not what I'm here for.
I
But
know.
uh, but 1250, that's safe to say all four
Yeah.
units would rent for 1250. I think my mortgage would have been for 38,
Okay.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong
So
cash flow.
it would have been strong. I was kind of budgeting for $1,100 budgets just to be like on the conservative side. Uh, but yeah, it
And
would have been good cash flow.
that's the beautiful thing about real estate. When you're in the game as an operator generating leads, sometimes you got to pair properties off. RJ and I, in the last 24 months, have sold over 100 rentals. I mean, this is what happens sometimes. You're moving and shaking. Sometimes you need liquidity. Other times you need cash flow. You're just
Yep.
bobbing and weaving and building and growing, and that's what we're all about. And you're at a point where you're kind of at a growth phase. So this hit of cash was probably the best move. I remember discussing it with you, and by all means, we all know this is not your last cash flow opportunity. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
abundance mentality right there. So, tell us about your business now and kind of how you're growing and scaling appropriately and what's next for you.
Yeah, I mean, I will throw this in there that one of the big reasons I did decide to make this move, not only, it's a really close friend of mine, he deserves it. He's halfway into real estate, but he's a certified, well, he's working right now rapidly to become a certified financial planner.
Hmm.
So his whole thing is house hacking, and he set a goal last year that he was gonna buy a 4 unit one and do a deal with a friend. And so it kind of like satisfied all of his things. That's why I was able to come with a strong offer. But other than that, one of the big reasons that I decided to do this, now I don't know if this move would be good for everybody to sell rather than to keep it, but my whole goal is to build businesses. That's my biggest thing. And I'm in a really good position right now going into 2026 that I've never been in. And I have a functioning business right now that's creating cash flow. And my biggest thing is scale. Now, yeah, you build generational wealth by holding on to these rentals and creating cash flow or whatever it is, getting the appreciation, depreciation, all those things, and it's great. But for me, the biggest thing is building an operating business. And I I don't want to like tug my own chain or whatever, but I'm good in real estate. I understand real estate to a T. It feels like now, thanks to YouTube being a big part of that. But now, right now in my business, so I have cold callers working right now, generating leads, and then also using PPL, and I'm expanding out into direct mail soon. And last year I hired my first closer, so my first acquisitions rep, and he's taken over almost the entire acquisition side of the business. We still run property comps together. He lets me know when he processes somebody, when he offers somebody. So that way I'm still in control here, but 90% of the work is off of my plate now. And I've never experienced that until I hired him, which was, I think, like September last year. I remember the first time I was just overwhelmed. Like all this stuff was happening in a day and I got overwhelmed and I sat down just to like breathe for a second. And I remember the thought, my business hasn't stopped because I stopped for a second. It's still going. It's still chugging. So that was a kind of an eye-opening experience. And now I know I'm kind of like dragging this along, but I could
No,
talk about this forever.
finish your thought. Yeah.
Um, so now I'm at a point where I'm hiring dispositions and admin, and I just hired a TC as well, a transaction coordinator to kind of help and make sure everything's getting where it needs to go. Because right now that's all on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's good. I mean, right now it is all on you, but it gives you an opportunity to document what it is that you're doing
yeah,
so that when, you're learning about the onboarding process and having a clear path in the first 90 days of what they're going to be doing. So you can be able to document what you're doing so that you can do the I do it, you do it, we do it kind of thing. I do it, we do it, then you do it
yeah.
process. And so that's awesome, man. Really congratulate for what you've done because when you first came to us, fresh, from another type of investment world in the crypto markets, going into real estate full time, and
I
now
knew nothing.
branching off and doing, building your business. So this is awesome. So. And Dave and I talk about this sometimes when your business needs an infusion, whether you have a lot of your own capital out in the streets, a business needs an infusion because then with that infusion comes growth. That's the
Hmm.
decision that you made.
Yeah,
And so that's a
yeah,
wise decision. Sometimes people just hang on so close, but then they get stagnant and they can't get to that next level. So you're hiring this dispo and admin TC person, and you've got a lot of opportunities right now because since you're doing it, you know it, you understand it, right? You're not delegating something you don't understand because that's a recipe for disaster.
yeah.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. Well, congrats on this deal. And, I know there's many more opportunities to come, especially with what's going on in 2026. There's always somebody that's going to be motivated to sell. I think there's going to be an influx of buyers coming into the market. So the flipping, wholesaling, novations, and congratulations on your first novation, actually.
Thank you.
Once you do that, we'll probably have you back on and do a whole breakdown of that as well.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
congratulate me when the money's
Yeah,
moving.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
As
oh
RJ
yeah.
always says, a deal's not a deal till the money clears in the bank account, right?
Of course, of course.
You can't deposit
Coach and
contracts. I
James,
don't care how
yeah.
many contracts you get, right? It's how many dollars do you have. That's the real scoreboard. So,
Yeah,
yeah, man. In closing, Taylor, I think you were with us when you did your first deal. I mean, you've been that guy. I remember talking to you for the very first time. I think you were still in Puerto Rico at that time, sitting on the couch next to your buddy and saying, "Tell me about real estate," right? What
yeah.
would you say to somebody who's in that position right now? They're new, they know there's money in real estate, not really sure kind of the different components. Maybe they're a little scared. Maybe they need to, shot of confidence, get the knowledge, get the basics under the belt. What would you say to them?
I would say it's never gonna happen unless you take action. Don't be scared. Just keep moving. There's still things that I do. I was talking to somebody that had a lot of experience in the law the other day, and they were attacking me, but I stood my ground and knew what I was doing. Luckily, but new experiences happen all the time. Don't be afraid to dive head on because at the end of the day, those are the experiences where you learn the most. And you just got to not let it hold you down. I'd say also find a mentor, read books, immerse yourself in what you want to become.
Heck
And
yeah.
if you're checking this video out, I'll be linking Taylor's socials in the description. So make sure to hit him up, befriend him. He's a good guy. I'm sure he'll reach back out to you. And Taylor, first of many almost 100K deals. We'll get you to the 100K. I bet it happens sooner than you think.
Oh
So
yeah.
Oh
um,
yeah.
Taylor, thanks for being here. And everybody, we'll see you on the next video.